Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis, and this is for trading on November 27th, 2019. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. As usual, we'll start off by taking a look at our calendar here. Okay, so in terms of our data here, there wasn't too much. We did see that consumer confidence number for the US came in below expectations. And this evening here, we have coming up here, we have construction data out of Australia. So if it's below expectations, that will be negative for Australian dollar. So not a ton today. So let's go over to Wednesday here. Wednesday, we have a lot of US dollar data here. We have core durable orders and durable orders, preliminary GDP numbers, Chicago PMI number. This is important. We also have personal spending, home sales, and all of that. So a ton of US dollar data. And this week is our holiday week with Thanksgiving this week for the US. So expect lower liquidity in the market. So when we have lower liquidity, any data can actually move the market just because a lot of participants are away from the market. So do watch out for that. We could see knee-jerk reaction to the data releases. All right, so let's go on to our charts now. Tomorrow in the Asian session, we do have the business confidence numbers and capital expenditure numbers for Australia, and then business confidence numbers for New Zealand here. So these numbers are important actually. If we see a drop in the business confidence numbers, we're likely to see the New Zealand dollar drop because that would not be good for just the overall economy, because that will show us that economy may be looking to take a bit of a dive. So that's what we have here. Let's go on to our charts now. We'll start off with euro dollar here. With the euro dollar, what we have seen here is a drop. So we saw this drop here. Now price is pulled back, but it's still holding below this 1.1030 level. So as long as it stays below that level, we could see follow through here, and we could see a further move, a continuation move to the downside. So keep that in mind here. As long as price stays below 1.1030, and the number that I'm pulling out here is actually the top of yesterday's candle. So today we see that price hasn't really moved further. It's just stayed in the previous range. So if it doesn't manage to break out here, then chances are very high that it will just come back into the range and then have or should give us this continuation move to the downside. So that's what I'm looking for, biases to the downside here for euro. However, the caution here would be if it does break out, then there is a lot of room to the upside. So if we see that the US dollar data tomorrow starts to come out negative, that could push the prices up here. So that would be a concerning thing. So keep that in mind. Especially with low liquidity. If price gets pushed through on negative data, we could see a move all the way into 1.1080, potentially into 1.1100. So that will be the caution, but for now, bias is bearish. I'm looking for price to drop, and the target here is 1.100, which is fairly close actually. So let's go to the lower one, 1.0980, this one. And if it goes through that, only then would I target the lower one here, 1.0960. So this week, just expect lower liquidity conditions. Okay, so euro dollar was bearish. Pound dollar is also looking bearish. So as we can see here, price is making a lower high. So this is what I'm talking about for the euro dollar. This is what so here, same thing happened for pound dollar. We saw a drop, a pullback, and then price held below this previous candle, and we saw a continuation to the downside. So I'm looking for a follow through for pound dollar here. Bias is bearish, so look for a similar move in euro dollar as well. But here, bias is bearish. 1.2820 is the first target. 1.2770 is the second target here. So bias is bearish for pound dollar. Aussie dollar here, Aussie is into the bottom of the range. We have an indecision candle here. So price wasn't able to break through the bottom of the range. Now, with the indecision candle, this is not a good signal candle. So we have to wait. What I will look for is to look for a retest of this bottom. And if price does not break through the bottom of this range, I will look for a move higher towards the top of the range here. And we could see price go all the way into 0.6830, so something like this, essentially looking for a range-bound move here still. So bias is a neutral, but if it holds above 0.6770, this level, if it doesn't break through, I'm looking for a move higher here. So neutral bias, but watch out for the move higher. New Zealand dollar here, this one is looking bullish. We do have a bullish candle close here. This is still trading in a range though. So we cannot really be too bullish on this as long as price holds below 0.6440, because it can still do one of these. So my bias here is actually bullish, but only for a little bit. So not hugely or overly bullish here. First target here would be just the top of the range here at 0.6440. Only if it clears this level would I look for the next one at 0.6465. But otherwise, this is an important support resistance level. Watch out for a reaction here. If price doesn't go through this level, I will look for a move back into the range. And in that case, the target here is 0.6380. So basically, this is my default scenario here. I'm just looking for a little bit of a move higher and then a drop from there, basically looking for a range-bound move and looking for price to come back towards the middle of the range and finally towards the bottom of the range here. So slightly bullish to neutral over here. I am looking for that turn down though. Dollar CAD here, this one is bearish. We see that price stayed below our resistance level though. So we have a nice bearish candle close here today. Now price is into support. This is where price had turned before, so just be careful. But this is a nice bearish candle. Once we see price break through the support, I will look for a continuation here. So in this case, I'm looking for a bit of a pullback into 1.3280 and then looking for that continuation move higher, something like this. So bias here is to the downside, and I will look for that move higher, move lower, my apologies. Target here is 1.3220, so bearish bias for dollar CAD. Let's take a look at our commodities here. We're looking at silver here. Silver has turned quite a bullish move here to the upside here. So this is our bullish engulfing candle. So nice bullish move, looking for price to move higher now. So bias is bullish, and I will look for a move towards the top of the range here into 17.20. And if price stays below, it could turn, but for now it is bullish. But if it goes through, then looking for a continuation move higher. So bullish bias here for silver. All right, so the next one here is gold here. Gold is looking bullish as well. The only thing with gold right now, though, is that price is into resistance here. So here we see it's right into resistance. So we do need to see price hold on the other side. So once it gets through to 1465, then it can hold, and looking for price to go all the way into the top of the range here. So this has also been range bound. If we take a look here, this has been range bound here for over 2 weeks here, 2.5 weeks almost, this has been range bound. So at this point, I am looking for price to go higher, but because it's into resistance, if it doesn't go through, this one could drop further here. So that will be the caution here, because we are right into the support resistance level. So it's a nice bullish candle, but resistance, if the resistance doesn't give, then we could see a drop. So for now, bias is bullish, but with caution here. All right, so let's take a look at our oil. Oil is bullish here, but it's still stuck in this little range here. So I would look for a little bit of a move higher into 58.70. If it holds below, then I will look for a move all the way back down here towards the bottom of the range. This one is still range bound at the moment. So slight bullish bias here. Target is 58.70, and if it stays below, then this one could drop. Copper here, copper has finally broken to the upside here. This is looking bullish. Next target here is 2.65. So in this case, something like this is what I would look out for. So bias is bullish here for copper. 2.65 is the next target. Bitcoin here, Bitcoin is holding below our support resistance level. As long as it stays below, then this one can drop further. So we have had a drop, a pullback, and now we could see this continuation move. The question would be, can it hold below this resistance level at 73.30? If it does, then I would look for a move lower. So today's candle close is small, but it's holding below. As long as that is the case, we're likely to see a drop in this. So still bearish bias. 67.70 is the first target, and then second target is 64.80. All right, so let's take a look at our equities here. A big move up here in our S&P 500. So still bullish bias here. I would keep an eye on the developments here between US and China. So as long as the developments are positive, at least in terms of comments, we have seen a lot of comments. There was one comment that came out today that US and China had a call, and they agreed to actually continue the talks, and basically they agreed that they need to agree and reach phase 1 deal, which is basically they didn't do anything. So it was funny to see that, but price actually moved up as a result of that. This shows that there's a lot of sentiment in the market, a lot of positive sentiment in the market, still expecting that deal to come through. So as a result of that, our bias still remains to the upside, but do expect fluctuation or volatility in the market. Okay, so bullish bias here. Next target is 3150. And if it goes through that, then we could see it go higher, but this one could do one of these as well. So watch out for that. It could come and retest the support level. Many times when we see a breakout, it will do a retest before a continuation. So look for a pullback into 3130 and then a continuation higher, but bias is bullish. 3150 and then 3180 are the two targets to the upside for S&P 500. Nasdaq also broke the highs. We are at all-time highs here, so still looking bullish, and looking for price to continue higher. So this is the type of move I will look for. A bit of a pullback here, and if it stays below, if it stays above 83.70, then I will look for a move higher into 84.50. So bullish bias here for NASDAQ as well. Now, should something change, let's say we hear some US and China news where it's negative, then if it starts to hold below 83.70, this one can drop further towards the base here, the base of the range. So keep a close eye on the resistance level at 83.70. As long as price holds above, then I'm looking for it to go higher. But as soon as we see that price starts to cut into this range, chances are very high that it can continue lower. So bias right now is bullish for Nasdaq as well. Dow Jones, this is looking bullish as well. This one's actually into resistance at the moment. So it does need to clear the resistance for continuation of that bullish move though, but bias is bullish here. And once it crosses the high to the other side, we're looking for price to go higher. So in this case, the target that I'm looking for here would be 28,250 will be the first target, and then 28,400 as the second target. All right, DAX here still trading in this range. I will look for a move higher. So bias is neutral here. I will look for a move higher towards 13,300 and then a move back into the range, essentially still looking for this range bound move here. So neutral bias for our DAX. And FTSE here, this one looks neutral here. So we have a neutral candle. It's almost into resistance here. And what I will look for here is a retest of the high at this point. If it doesn't break, looking for it to drop. So this is kind of what I'm looking for here. Neutral bias, as long as it stays below 74.20, it's likely to drop. Now, should some positive, real positive sentiment come out and we see a move through, then it can go higher. For now, though, I would just look for a move back into the range here for FTSE, so neutral bias here. All right, Japanese Nikkei here. This one is also looking neutral and doesn't seem to have as much momentum today as it did yesterday. So yesterday we did see this move higher and then it has dropped from there. So as a result, what I will look for here is it can do a retest of the high again. And as long as it stays below, I will look for this one to move back into this range actually. So bias is neutral. I'm not looking for this one to go crazy with bullishness here. But again, any kind of positive comments for US and China can push the equity markets through their highs. So just keep that in mind. But bias is neutral here. I will look for a retest of the high. And as long as it stays below, looking for a drop here. And the target would be 23,280. And then if it goes through that, we are looking at 23,000 here. So bias is neutral for Nikkei. All right, so that's all for today. And I will see you next time. Actually, just a quick note here. We are running a promotion at the moment. So if you are interested in the analysis that I am doing here and you would like to get this every day, my full analysis with my watch list that I send out to all the subscribers, now I'm running a really good promotion, which I have never run before. With this one, you get my spreadsheet, you get the daily analysis, and there are a lot of other bonuses as well. All of this, which normally costs $127 a month, which is about $1,500 a year, is actually free if you buy my Learn to Trade Forex course. So if you buy my Forex course, you get all of this for free. And in order to get this, you just go to tradingwithvenus.com, not for forecast, just tradingwithvenus.com, and you can get the promotion. So let me just do this. That's the website to go to. Just go under courses and you'll be able to just buy the Learn to Trade course, Forex course, and you'll get the rest for free. All right, that's it for now. You guys have a wonderful trading day and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.